We have all been there, looking at our monthly bank statements and seeing that $16 monthly plan fee from one of the big 5 banks and thinking, why exactly am I paying for the privilege of letting them hold my money? You want to leave, but it's a little scary. The idea of a 100% digital bank like EQ feels like jumping into the deep end without a life jacket. And that is where Tangerine comes in. It is the orange-tinted middle ground that has been disrupting Canadian banking, I would say, for decades. But is it still the best choice for you? Today, we're looking at how Tangerine stacks up against the Big 5, how it compares to its main rival Simplii Financial, and the specific reason why someone like me, who does most of their banking with EQ, for example, still keeps a Tangerine account active. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First, let's do a reality check. Tangerine isn't some tiny startup. It started as ING Direct before being bought by Scotiabank back in 2012, if I'm not wrong. This is the ultimate safety net for people slightly nervous about online banking. You get the no-fee lifestyle, but you're backed by one of the largest financial institutions in the country, Scotia. This ownership comes with one massive perk, the ATM network. For example, what it includes is you getting free access to over 3,500 Scotiabank ATMs across Canada. As I said, I do most of my banking with EQ, and EQ actually reimburses you for any ATM fee in Canada. So technically, EQ is more flexible. However, Tangerine has its place as well. If you're moving from a big 5 bank, Tangerine is a much simpler jump. If there is a Scotiabank at the end of your street, for example, it feels like a local bank, really. Plus, unlike EQ, you can actually deposit physical cash at these ATMs, which can come in quite handy, and is a huge deal for anyone who doesn't live a 100% digital life just yet. If you're with RBC, TD, or BMO, or Scotiabank for that matter, you're likely paying for convenience you don't really use. Most big 5 accounts require you $4,000 up to $6,000 just to waive a $16 monthly fee. At Tangerine, that account is $0 with no minimum balance, so you can put your money where you need them. And while the big 5 apps feel like they were designed by a committee in 1998, for example, CIBC in particular, Tangerine's app is built for speed. Their money rules feature is really cool. You can set and move $5 to savings, for example, every time you buy a coffee. It automates your good habits and helps you save a little bit of money. And of course, Tangerine is a full service shop. You get checks, which the first book I believe is actually free, sent your way, joint accounts and business accounts, so it's a whole suite. It does everything your old bank does, just without the bill at the end of the month for, again, the privilege of holding your hard-earned money. What about Simplii? Well, if you've looked at Tangerine, I'm certain you've seen Simplii as well. Simplii is essentially a Pepsi to Tangerine's Coke. They're very, very similar. Tangerine is Scotiabank and Simplii is CIBC. It usually comes down to which ATM is closer to your house at the end of the day. And a couple other perks on credit cards I'll talk about in a bit. However, Tangerine often wins on originality. Their promos are pretty good, usually higher than Simplii, and while their everyday interest rate is often lower than EQ Bank, for example, Tangerine is the king of teaser rates. It's very common to see a 4.5 to 5% promo rate for the first 5 months. They also have some of the best welcome bonuses, giving you up to $250 or as high as $400 just for moving your payroll over and getting a couple direct deposits in. It's actually pretty cool. I obviously have used that. And if your employer allows you to just put a little bit of money into that account, again, it's a way to earn a little bit back. And of course, we must mention the Tangerine credit card. Of course, I'm gonna do a deep dive on this in a separate video, but Tangerine's credit card is actually one of the strongest reasons to join the bank. Of course, you don't need to be a part of the bank to use their credit card, but still, take a look. First of all, their money-back credit card is the no annual fee one where you choose 2 categories like groceries and gas to get 2% cash back. If you have your rewards deposited into a Tangerine savings account, they give you a third 2% category. And second is the World Elite MasterCard. So it's the same thing, you get a $0 annual fee, but it adds big bank perks like mobile device insurance and rental car coverage. Having a World Tier card with no annual fee is almost unheard of at the Big 5. In fact, I think it is unheard of. It makes the Tangerine ecosystem very hard to beat for a no-fee setup, really. And this is not the only reason I use Tangerine. I mentioned before that EQ Bank is my primary home. I've moved from RBC not too long ago actually. EQ is more consistent with high interest and they don't play the teaser rates game where they give you a high rate for 5 months, for example. However, I keep my Tangerine account active for 3 specific cases. Number 1 is cash deposit. So if I have a physical cash, all I need is a Scotiabank ATM to get it into the digital world. Number 2 is the credit card. I really do like the 2% custom categories. And I would say they're a small staple of my wallet. And lastly, the promo shuffle. So when Tangerine sends me a special offer, at times, if I have a little bit of extra cash laying, I would move it from EQ to Tangerine for a few months to catch that peak interest. Then simply move it back when the promo ends. It's a very simple way, although a little bit annoying, it's a little bit of effort, to maximize every dollar if you have time and want to put effort to do that. So if you're ready to stop paying bank fees but you want the safety of a major ATM network as well as a physical parent bank, Tangerine was probably the gold standard for this transition for you. Even saving $4 a month, that's how much I've been paying RBC, is $50 a year for, again, the privilege of the bank holding my own money. It simply doesn't make sense to do that. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel and get a head start on your new account, I've put my orange key referral code in the description. If you use it, we both get a small cash bonus from the bank once you meet the requirements, which are pretty simple, I think, just depositing some money into it. Anyways, it's a win-win, but no pressure at all. The most important thing is that you really stop paying $200 a year in fees to a Big 5 bank. Come on. This has got to stop, right? Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.